So first game and first win in the club's very first season. Talk about tonight, how you felt throughout it, what you saw from the players that you liked, and overall how you're feeling about the result.
One, feel great about the result. Obviously, a win at home. That was one of the things I told the girls before the game is we don't lose at home. We protect our stadium, we protect our house, and so to get the win is obviously huge. How I feel about the game, we've got a lot of ground to make up. I think we've crammed a lot into very few sessions. And we saw, if the fans saw, but we changed formations about 35 minutes in. The girls were tired. Their legs were tired. The field was slick. The game was running way faster than I think they expected coming into it. And so we made some adjustments, and I thought the girls adjusted really well and played into our strengths. Obviously, I'd love to see us be a little bit better in front of the goal and finish some more chances. But ultimately, first game, sold out crowd. It's awesome.
Yeah, so about that sold out crowd, over 6,000 fans tonight, anything you'd like to say to the Richmond community?
You guys won us that game. I think that's the thing. There was a moment where I think the entire stadium was screaming, "Let's go Ivy." And I don't know that the girls heard me the whole game, but they definitely heard the fans. And so the fans definitely, I would say, won us that game. They never quit. We walked out of the locker room at halftime, and it was raining, and I was like, it's going to ruin the environment, and the atmosphere is not going to be as great as we want it. And then I don't think a single soul moved out of the stadium. They were just getting rained on just like we were, and all I can say is thank you. It's incredible to have the support of Richmond, and we felt it.
As you talked about before, some of the girls have never seen a crowd like this. How did you help them, keep their composure tonight and keep those nerves down, and how did they, get around that and keep the energy?
I told them before the game, when I talked to them in the locker room, I mentioned to them that it was a sold-out crowd. I don't know that a lot of them knew at the time, but the biggest thing I told them was we're going to have to control our emotions. We're going to have to take a deep breath and, connect your first pass, get stuck in your first tackle. First shot has to be on frame, and then you just take a deep breath. But I told them the way that the stadium looked when we warmed up and the way that it was going to look when they walked out of the tunnel was going to be completely different, and it was. And so the biggest thing there was soak it all in, enjoy the environment. Everybody, you've earned this moment, but also control your emotions as you go after it.
Awesome. And last one from me, obviously Bree Bem finds the back of the net first for the Ivy. Talk about her performance a little bit, and then talk about the attack as a whole, everything you saw from Cam, from Kana, everybody up top.
Yeah, it's funny. We actually came into the match not thinking Bree was going to play much. We thought she was going to be about 20 minutes, given kind of some things were going with her and the way we had chatted about it as a staff. And then we checked in with her, and she was feeling great, and so we said, sure, we're going to let her keep running. And so it's funny, we were subbing her at the time, and the referees looked and said, "You want your sub?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And then she goes and scores a goal. So, best time sub, I guess, there. But ultimately, I talked to the girls at halftime. I think we have to be a little bit better in possession than we were. I thought our second half was better in possession. You started to see us move the ball a little bit quicker than we had. And I think it's a great foundation just to build for the rest of the season.
So you mentioned tactical flexibility in this game. Can we also expect some player rotation? I know the game's coming thick and fast as the season progresses.
I think we're missing right now about 5 to 8 players, and I think they're players that elevate our roster, I think is the first thing that I would say. And so 100%, I think you saw some players that were in places they probably won't play for the rest of the season. And we also saw some players that gave us a little bit more depth than I think we initially expected going into it, you pick up on 5-6 sessions, and you pick up and you wonder, what can I get out of this player? And you're looking at their technical ability, and we picked up on some key qualities of certain players and said, if we have to go to a back 4, we're going to throw this player back there, and they did great. Kana adjusted really well, threw her in the midfield, adjusted really well, and we, again, just keep rolling. And so I think that'll be the biggest key. The 2 formations that I enjoy, that's the reason I enjoy them, is because mid-flow, when you've got 6,000 fans yelling after you or at the fields and just excited, being able to quickly move one player and you don't lose anything is important, because they can't hear a word I'm saying.
Yeah. And what are you expecting is going to set this Ivy team apart from the rest of the division and the rest of the league?
What we saw tonight. That is absolutely. I don't know what we'll see when we go to other stadiums, but I think the Richmond community is what sets Ivy apart. And then from there, I think it's the culture, the foundation that we're building upon. I think it's the investment of the entire club. Every person I talked to tonight was incredibly excited, and I think that's the difference.
Walk us through Bree's goal. What'd you see on that sequence? And did Cam get a touch? Maybe?
I don't know if Cam, it's hard to tell, and it'll be the first thing I watch back when I get out of here. But it's interesting. The corner didn't go the way I expected it to, quite honestly, and it wasn't, what we trained. And so it was a little bit of chaos, and when we've practiced set pieces in a certain formation, we changed the formation, and now all of a sudden players aren't necessarily where they need to be. Now, had we have scored right off the kick, maybe a little bit different. I'd be thinking maybe do we need to redraw some things up? No, it just happens off a rebound. I think Bree's in the right place, a little bit of kind of tenacity to go after it and continue to bury the ball in the back of the net. Scoring the first goal for the Richmond Ivy, you can't make that up. That's what dreams are made of right there.
Cam looks so dangerous every time she's on the ball. What does her confidence do for the rest of the team?
Cam has got a ton of experience at different levels, and I think, I think everybody probably saw it when she went down, and there's some anxiousness of, is she going to come back on? We're playing down a player. How long are we going to play down a player? Can we sustain it? Cam elevates the environment, and the biggest thing, we moved her inside. That's not really where we want her to play, but moving her inside allowed us to get a little bit more out of her. She wasn't having to cover quite as much ground, and you saw, I think, she got better and better throughout. The biggest things is we just need to finish in key areas. But yeah, Cam definitely is a key component to the team, and I think she elevates those around her.
Somewhat back and forth in that first half, and then you had all the pressure in the second half. What did you guys figure out that allowed you to mount that pressure that eventually led to the goal?
It was totally just moving the ball more. That was the biggest thing I told them at halftime, was we just have to be a better in possession team than we were in the first half. I didn't think our possession was quite what it needed to be. I didn't think we were good enough on the ball. I thought we took too many touches. It took us too long to connect. I thought our thought process was a little bit too slow, and that's what we talked about at halftime. And I think they came out, and immediately we start to see a difference. We're moving the ball a little bit faster. Our movement off the ball is faster. We're just sending our outside backs forward, which is what we want. So the ability for them to take information in a short period of time and then go execute is awesome.
And congratulations on the win, Coach. Look, this is a full circle moment for you. Obviously, being from the area, last time we had a franchise here, you were a player, and now you're a coach. Just talk about the emotions of tonight, and then also this next generation of fans coming here, and just this whole full circle moment. How can you just, your thoughts on this moment?
If I had to put one word on it, it would be surreal. Incredibly surreal. As we walked down the stadium tonight, I ran into a group of players that they said that, they were excited to say that they were on an undefeated team, and I asked them how old they were, and they said, we're 7, and I said, awesome, I'll see you in 10 years. and I think that is what this is about, right? It is absolutely about the young fans that see themselves on the field, and they've never had that before. So for me, having played, we didn't sell out City Stadium when I was playing in City Stadium. And so to see the investment in soccer, see the investment from the community, boys, girls, there wasn't a single fan we had fans that waited probably 30 minutes for us just to get down just so they could say hello. That didn't happen when I was playing. So for me, I think surreal is the easiest way to put it. Thankful, honored is probably the other one I would say.